Andreas Umland. He's an analyst at Stockholm Centre for Eastern European Studies and joins me now live from Kyiv. Thank you so much for being with us on the program. I mean, this is a very significant development for Ukraine, works in their favor. I guess my first question would be, why are they conducting this operation now, and what do they hope to get out of it?
I think the primary explanation for that is the alternative development path, the continuation of the war as it happened before 6th of August, as it happened, in fact, already for 10 years. And for 10 years now, the war has been worse and worse and worse for Ukraine, more and more destruction. And there's no solution to the war in sight. On the contrary, Russia is getting ever more ruthless in its methods. It bombarded here in Kyiv last month children's hospital purposefully. And so this is an attempt to change the conversation, to change the narrative, the context, the situation, and to come to a solution and not to end up in an endless war.
Right, as our correspondent said earlier, with every military operation comes risks. What are those risks for Ukraine?
Yes, there are risks, and I assume that the Ukrainian leadership knows of these risks and has calculated them. But as I said, the alternative would have been the continuation of the situation before 6th of August, before this new offensive. And the estimate was apparently that it was worth taking this risk. The risk is, of course, that Russian troops are encircled. The risk is that there may be a nuclear escalation, and there may be other risks as well. But for Ukraine, the situation was very dire anyway, and so this is an attempt to change the situation and also a wake-up call for the world to do something about it.
Right, and the U.S. has always been very critical of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but the tables have somewhat turned now, and Ukraine is currently occupying Russian land. Is this supported, do you think, by the U.S., given that much of Ukraine's military assistance does come from the West?
I think this support will continue, and one of the aims of Ukraine is here also to create a basis for a serious basis for negotiations. Earlier, the only negotiation that Ukraine could have with Russia was about how much territory, how much sovereignty Ukraine would give up. And now, if the current situation continues and Ukraine is able to hold the Russian state territory, there could be a very simple deal. All of the Ukrainian territory is occupied by Russia, is returned to Ukraine, and all of the Russian territory occupied by Ukraine is returned under Russian control. So that is also a way out of the war.
Well, this does give more leverage to Ukraine in terms of going to the negotiating table and asking for certain conditions. However, has this situation brought the parties farther from getting to that negotiating table?
The relationship was already extremely tense anyway. I mean, I just spoke about the bombardment of a children's hospital here in Kyiv. So there was actually very little to lose, and this is now a signal also to countries like China, Brazil, India, perhaps also to Turkey, that, well, now actually negotiations make sense. Earlier, it was always unclear what the negotiations actually would be about. It would be just about the kind of surrender that Ukraine would have to commit to. But now you could actually have a deal between Russia and Ukraine, and one hopes that now those countries who have earlier committed themselves to promoting peace between Russia and Ukraine will actually come forward and use this opportunity and pressure Russia to go for a deal with Ukraine.
Okay, Andreas Umland, thank you so much for being with us here on the NewsHour and sharing your time with us. I appreciate it.